The views expressed on this episode of the Came to Believe Recovery podcast do not necessarily reflect those of KHLT, Take 12 Recovery Radio, or our affiliates. The opinions on this episode should not be taken as medical, psychological, or professional advice and are those of the host, co-host, and guests. KHLT and Take 12 Recovery Radio are not affiliated with any particular 12-step fellowship. Well, greetings, my friends. I am the Monty Man from Take 12 Recovery Radio, and this is the Came to Believe Recovery Podcast. And now, here are your Came to Believe Recovery podcasting broadcasters to launch us forth on this week's show.
Well, hello, everybody. My name is Alicia, or you can call me Al today. Welcome to the Came to Believe Recovery Podcast. I am here with Tom as Tom and the Hawaiian gnome today, Monty Man. If you're watching us, you'll see that we dressed up, some of us did, for the week of Halloween.
Yeah, and we'll probably get mail.
Good. Address it to Tom because he did not dress up.
Monty, it's just he'll need to do a 10-step now because he was resentful that he wasn't allowed to wear. Oh, he didn't come to Hawaii. Oh, that's right.
Oh.
No, I was not invited.
Well, that's not true. That wasn't true.
Well, I was invited, but I wasn't invited.
Well, the point is, you would not have been able to wear the Hawaiian shirt even in Hawaii.
Aloha shirt.
Do you know what's funny is that he said he has matching shorts.
I do. I have shorts to go with this.
That would be over the top, and Tom would just vomit.
Why? Wait, here's this thing. Listen, I love Hawaii. Been there 5 or 6 times. One of my favorite places, period.
You just don't like their
going
shirts? Back.
Maybe this year, first part next year, probably a couple times for work and blah, blah, blah.
Nice.
But it's a tiny little island. And how did these shirts get so expansive where everyone wears them everywhere? They're for a specific thing.
beyond Hawaii.
They're like luau shirts. They're for the weather. They're designed to be in that vacation-y mode. And here's Monty in Portland, Albany, Oregon.
Yeah, just south of Portland.
Rainy place that resembles Hawaii not at all, wearing his Hawaiian shirt.
That's right.
But fashion goes all over the world, Tom.
So you're calling it fashion?
Well, it's part of the fashion trend for
Hawaiian?
men, I think. Isn't that weird?
There's a ukulele, and then there's a Hawaiian.
How come women don't wear those? I guess they do the.
Oh, they do. They put the flowers in their hair, and I have. Oh, I should have worn them. I have kakua beads. Kakua beads. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. But they're beads made out of, they're not actually beads, they're like root things or something.
Oh, the white necklace thingy?
No, those are puka shells. No, these are
yeah.
These are something else. But I don't know. I like loose fitting garments, and Hawaiian shirts they just come that way normally. You know, that's why I like them. But I like them even more now that I know that Tom doesn't.
Mm-hmm. That's part of the reason why we dressed up, because we knew Tom would hate it.
Because we knew yeah. I'm just saying, you look so debonair, Al.
Yes, my name is Al.
And there was a day in 20 years ago or so when it was very difficult for me to dress or do anything like that. But I literally didn't remember. I am not against dressing up, so I will not take that.
No, because even yesterday you said you weren't going to.
You didn't tell. Did you tell me yesterday?
Yeah, I said we're dressing up. I sent the email. It says don't forget to dress up.
He doesn't read them.
Whatever. We knew you wouldn't. You're predictable.
No, I take it back. I was invited to Hawaii. We just couldn't make it work, and at nobody's fault.
He's thinking about that still, Tom.
I'm going next time. I don't care how. Even if I have to hitchhike on a boat.
You go.
I'll figure out a way. Anyway.
Okay.
Well, there will be a next time for sure.
So I know those who are viewing right now really love the little sparklies, but they're going to go bye-bye because they're starting to annoy me, and I know they annoy
Looks like
Tom.
they're
So
going
here-
up your nose.
Here we go. Bye-bye.
Bye, Sparkle.
I'm not taking the hat off though.
No, don't.
Nope, not
For
at all.
today's show.
Hey, so what's the topic today?
Trust.
Oh,
Everything
really?
about trust. Trusting the process and bringing the 12 steps into it, and faith, because that's linked to trust, right? Having
Yep.
faith is all about trust. And what do we put our trust in? Some of us might flip-flop, right, into different things.
Well, we don't have a
know I do.
We don't have a mailbag, but we do have this. Da 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 da.
Hey there, friends, gather round. It's Muncie the man with stories profound. We're diving into tales, both wild and bold. Time to play true or false. Let the fun unfold.
It's
Wow.
it's time to play. It's time to play True or False, the favorite podcast show of every CEO.
True or false? I thought truth or dare would be fun.
True or false? Okay, so if you get it right, you get the cowbell. If you get it wrong, we all know what you get. You get the fluff machine. All right.
Are you testing us?
I'm testing you guys. Yep, here we go.
Okay.
All right, number one. One of the most quoted verses in the Bible states, God helps those who help themselves. Is that true or false?
False.
False.
Ooh, you guys are correct.
It's not in the Bible, right?
No, it is not in the Bible. In fact, if anything, God helps those who can't help themselves. That was actually a quote from Benjamin Franklin, who believed in a watchmaker God. He was a deist, somebody that believes that God created the world and then just left.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay, number two. In the original manuscript of the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous, the C in the ABCs in the chapter How It Works is in reference to the ability that God has to relieve the alcoholic of his problem with alcohol. The statement reads as follows: God can and will. Is that true or false?
True. It's true.
You are correct. You guys are rocking it. Yeah, so the key in that one was in the original manuscript because, it said
No,
God can and
what I
Reads a
wanna-
little bit different, right, in
Yeah.
the 4th edition?
Yes.
What we want to note is when all of you hear Mrs. Martinez saying, "Oh, I don't really know anything about this. I don't really know this stuff. I'm not good enough." Look, she's answering all the questions.
Well, I can tell you why, because on the Wednesday meetings that I lead, we read that, so it's in my head. If it wasn't, I would let Tom answer.
So you've learned.
The interesting thing about the C and the ABCs in the original manuscript that doesn't say if he were sought, it just says God can and will. It's really great because God working in our lives is not contingent on our behavior. It's contingent on what he wants to do. So aren't you glad that even when we don't seek him, God can and does work in our lives? You know what I mean?
Right.
And it takes
Right.
it takes the ambiguity out of it too. God can and will, saying that's it. You know, if you say and
Like a
if he was
promise.
sought, it gives the opportunity that you could seek other things. But that doesn't.
Yes.
It says God can and will. It's only one option in the big book. I love that. I wish that it was back.
Yeah. It's very when you put if he were sought, it kind of makes everything works oriented instead of grace.
But we do have to seek. No?
Well, God won't render
whole
us white
other-
as snow without our cooperation. I mean, we do know that, right? But yeah, I love the can and will too. Okay, here's number 3. This may shake your world a little bit. I hope it does. A rumor has persisted for years in the Fellowship of AA that Bill Wilson wished he could have changed rarely to never in regard to the beginning of chapter 5, How It Works. Rarely have we seen a person fail who has thoroughly followed our path.
Did Bill Wilson actually say that he wished he could have changed that? Is that true or false?
I hope it's true because I've quoted that before. I'm thinking it's false by Monty's face.
No, I'm going to say, because we all say this too, and I've heard others tell me so, if they're wrong, that he said if there was one word I could change, it would be rarely to never. So I'm going to say it's true.
Well, Tom, it's not. And here's the proof. So, Alicia, you get a bell. Okay. In a letter to Les V dated May 25, 1961, Bill W. stated, concerning your comment about the use of the word rarely in Chapter 5 of the Big Book, my recollection is that we did give a considerable thought at the time of writing it. I think the main reason for the use of rarely was to avoid anything that would look like a claim for 100% result. Assuming, of course, that an alcoholic is willing enough and sane enough, there can be a perfect score on such character. But since willingness and sanity are such elusive and fluctuating values, we simply didn't like to be too positive. The medical profession could jump right down our throats. I do remember thinking about it a lot. The following question and response were made at the 1970 General Service Conference as part of the Ask It Basket questions. Bill was, of course, still living at the time and was able to respond. The question was this: has Bill Wilson ever said if there was a change he would make in the Big Book, it would be to change the word rarely to never at the start of Chapter 5? Bill Wilson answered, no. I had never considered this. Found in the 1970 General Service Conference report, page 31. So where the confusion comes in, guys, is that they did talk about it a lot as it was being written. But after it was published, he never said that he wished he could have changed it.
But isn't that kind of the same?
No, it's not.
No?
No, because if you make the statement, if there was anything in the Big Book that Bill Wilson said he would like to change, it would have been this. Now, he didn't say that.
Okay.
They talked about whether they should use rarely or never before they ever wrote it, and they decided as a conference to keep it at rarely.
All right.
So how
we'll
did
have
that
to
ever get started? I mean, I've heard
Because
people
it's
that
been
are-
misunderstood. I can see where that could get that could get switched, when you play telephone, right? I can see where you start out with Bill considered it before writing it and end up with 100 people at the end.
So do we need to take that out of the legacy
And
guide?
Probably.
I think Clarence supported that, though, and that's where we go. Is because Clarence was back there then in those conversations, and I think Steve said he would have gone with never.
Well,
but there's a caveat to never. Never is if you thoroughly follow the path. So you have to do it 100%, which is we know.
No, you were going to say nobody does.
Move over into the square there a little bit more there, Tom. There you go. You're good. Yeah, so they did consider it. But once it was written, there isn't any record of anybody saying that they would like to
That
change
they wish
it.
it was changed.
Well,
Yeah.
let's set the record straight. That's a good thing to do.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
all
just
good.
interesting stuff.
Corrected. I like the question stuff segment.
Yeah. So here, just a little added history here. This is from Dick B. Bill himself many times said there were failures galore. Quote. So did Bob in less dramatic language. All in all, there is little actual evidence to indicate that any of the pioneers claimed 100% for their programs, whatever they were. Myth and speculation really don't mean anything. And there are certainly are no later credible surveys other than Dr. Bob's memo and the survey taken by Clarence Snyder in Cleveland showing a 90% success rate there. Yeah.
Oh, that
Well,
makes sense.
we're taking the surveys now.
Yes. It's a new day. All right. That does it for true and false. Let's see. We got a closeout bumper for that. Bumper bumper bum.
True or false, let's take a chance. Dive into the stories, let your instincts dance. Fiction or fact, just guess what you see.
Woo!
Step right up now. Come play with me.
I like to blow stuff up.
That was a fun segment. I hope we kind of do that.
That was
sometime.
fun. Yeah, that was fun. All right, trust.
Dun, dun, dun.
So I just want to say this really quickly. So where do we read "In God We Trust"?
On the money.
On the money.
money.
Don't you just think that's the weirdest thing ever? In today's world, I mean.
That is funny. Yeah, right. I never really thought about
I
it.
think it was very pertinent back when it was done, but yeah.
Is it on every bill of money or just a certain?
No, I think it's on every
And coin.
and coin.
Huh.
Yeah.
And people that don't believe in God or have a resentment toward God, they have no problem spending the money that says "In God We
No,
Trust."
They
Though
should get no money.
no money, cut them off.
No money for
God,
you.
they don't trust.
They trust in money. That's part of our conversation, I think
Yeah.
it should be.
Render
Putting our
unto
trust in
Caesar.
other things.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Well,
Where do
the
we want to start with this, Monty?
All right.
Well, so let me just say this, and if somebody can prove me wrong, not to steal the saying from Charlie Kirk, prove me wrong, but if somebody can, I'll back off on this. I have looked, I wouldn't say overly diligently, but pretty thoroughly. I've searched out scriptures to try to find out if there's any place in the Bible that says that we're supposed to trust each other. And I'm not finding it. What I find is we're supposed to trust God and love each other. Now, that's very clear. But I don't see where we're supposed to put our trust in man anywhere in the Bible. And so when I hear people say, well, I'm finding it very hard to trust people, I get it. And guess what? I don't think you need to. But could you? Sure. But I know absolute trust and absolute dependence, and we're not to be people dependent either. We're to be God dependent. I think in our 12-step fellowships over the years, we have gone from teaching people to be God dependent, and I quote from Working with Others, the chapter in the Big Book, remind the prospect that his recovery is not dependent upon people, but on his relationship with God. We've gone from that to people being meeting dependent, sponsor dependent, spouse dependent, pastor dependent, rabbi dependent, right? Even step dependent, and not God dependent. And that concerns me.
That is so important. Yes. But I think people hear that and they think, oh, yeah, that sounds really good. But really think about it. Like people come in and they think they have to go to a meeting, or they pick their higher power as a person or the
Right.
meeting. And that is not going to work. People let us down. People don't have a power. Because, I don't have the power to
Right.
be somebody else's higher power. That's really important. Yes. And to trust in God, and people are going to let us down.
Yeah, so a lot of people are very critical of Bill Wilson. Some people are critical of Dr. Bob, a little less than Bill. Certainly there's people critical of Hank Parkhurst and Clarence Snyder and the rest of the boys. But you know what? That pedestal they all fell off of, none of them asked to be put on it.
Exactly.
And
we're all learning, and we can learn from that, and I'm sure they learned from their mistakes, and people are people-y, period. And if you don't think that it's true, then they need to
then
look
hang
in the
out with
mirror.
us.
Yeah.
Hang out with Tom. You'll see.
Yes. Take the log out of your eye, people. You're hitting me in the head with it.
I've been accused of having an entire forest in my eye.
Yes, and that is fine. So do I.
Well, I did a bunch of research too, and Alicia and I had a conversation yesterday, and trust has some different paths it can go down. Trusting the process in a Christian manner, trusting the process in a worldly manner, trusting, and then broken trust, and how that can affect us in all our relationships. And how does trust and faith work together or not? So interesting definition, guys, here that I found. Trust and faith are related concepts, but have different distinct meanings. Tell me what you think about this. Faith here says is often defined as a strong belief in something that cannot be proven, such as a higher power or spiritual entity. It is a conviction that goes beyond observable evidence, right? And then trust, on the other hand, is based on evidence, experience, and reliability. It represents a complete reliance on another person or entity, often emerging when faith is tested. While both terms involve faith and resilience, faith typically operates in the realm of intangible, whereas trust is more commonly associated with interpersonal relationship and a tangible experience. What do you think about that?
My brain is doing somersaults right now.
Yeah, mine is too.
Basically, you said, okay, so faith is, we can't prove it, right? But we can't prove that he doesn't exist either. So you can't prove either way.
Yeah, faith is,
Yeah.
you have faith in something that you have no evidence. I think.
Right. And
I'm
we
gonna
just
hit the
take that
lottery.
on.
I think I'm going to get the job. I have faith that my so-and-so is going to come. But trust has more to do with
Circumstances. no?
something that somebody has said or somebody has done, or a relationship. Something tangible. I'm going to trust that Alicia is never going to wear that beard again.
But then what
And I
happens
have faith.
when I do?
Well, no, I would be this. I trust that Alicia is going to come to Nevada City and make sure that all the things under her responsibility will happen. Like sitting here today, I trust it, but that has evidence and things around it, right? Now I have faith that the God of the big book and the Bible are going to show up at that retreat and touch people's lives. And so I don't know that I think that they have such separate meanings to them.
Trust, we can ebb and flow, maybe. Like, say I flopped the retreat, then you would have some more boundaries and kind of like, ugh. But with faith, it stays stable. No? Does that make sense?
Well, so I could say two things, right? You could say, I got it, Tom. I'm going to get that Nevada City. And I could say, well, I have faith in you, Alicia. I don't worry. Or I could say, I trust you.
Okay, yeah,
Right,
we
why-
do the same.
Why wouldn't it be different? That wouldn't be any different.
Yeah, no, that's true. Monty, give us some wisdom.
He's sapped of wisdom with that hat on.
Well,
No, it's the shirt.
there's a possibility.
Yeah, the accommodation.
So there's a possibility those who are viewing this, right? I have to interrupt and say this, that are viewing right now may not know why we're dressed up like this, because the first part of this I don't think did video. I think it did audio only for some reason, and I just corrected it. So the reason we're dressed up like this is because Tom hates it.
And it's the week of Halloween in 2025. If you're watching this in the future, it's going to be Halloween.
So
So
and Monty has a chance to do a 10-step because that's not true. He just told a lie.
oh, did I?
Yeah.
Tom doesn't
does not hate it.
He doesn't hate
He
it.
just didn't do
He
it.
dislikes it very deeply.
It's just not true. Why am I getting? All right.
Because you're easily
forgetting
seen
about
through.
you,
That's why.
and
We know
I
your
don't care
character.
Anything about
And
you
it's
guys.
okay. We have grace for you.
So back to
Monty,
the topic.
trust.
Yeah. So I think what the problem is I mean, we use the English language is weird, right? I mean, we use words and we don't even know what they mean half the time.
And we mix them together.
Yeah.
Right.
So like last week, Tom made a statement, and I listened to it, and I went, "Oh, that's interesting." He asked you a question. He said, "For my edification, can you explain?" And then he asked you a question. And it really wasn't for his edification. It was to clear something up for him. And I thought, that was an interesting choice of words. And I think
don't remember that.
I do. I remember all. You know what I'm saying? No, but I mean, my point is sometimes when we're talking or having conversations or even what we believe, a lot of times the words we use in the English language, we may not fully understand. And I think when it comes to trust and faith, it can be that way. So I'm wondering if it isn't so much, let's put it this way. I'm concerned when people put their trust in something conditionally. In other words, I'm going to trust you, but you better come through. Now, I may not say that, but that's my expectation. But what if you don't? is that going to knock me off my center if you don't? I'm going to have faith in you that you're going to show up for the retreat, because evidence demands a verdict here. And the evidence has been you always show up for the retreats you say you're going to show up for. So why wouldn't I have faith in that? But if you don't, the most it's going to do is I'm going to be concerned and hope you're okay. But I'm not going to be going, there goes Alicia, not showing up again, because that's not her MO. So I think if we allow the break of trust or the break of faith in something to affect us to the degree that we become ineffective ourselves, then we're in trouble.
Mm-hmm. Well, we are supposed to put our trust in God and not other people.
Right.
Right? We could trust people, but we need to trust that He is in control. And if something goes bad, then, like you said, we need to learn how to respond rather than react. And we can set boundaries. We can have conversations with these people. If it's a constant habit of them letting us down, then our trust might shift.
Why do you think humans have the need, or at least they think they have the need, to put trust in another human being? Why do you think we feel that we need to have that?
What comes to my head is probably because we're innately made to trust God, and we're putting that trust into something else. Because we're just made to rely and be in relationship with Him, and we're placing it on somebody else. Maybe.
But why do I feel like I need to be able to trust my spouse?
Well, because you're in community with her. You've made a pact with her. You've made promises.
Yeah.
You've made promises. You've entered into a
covenant
with her.
Yeah.
That requires things. So you can't always see everything that's happening. So it requires trust that her character and her integrity will allow her to maintain your covenant. I think it's clear. It's because of the nature of us being in community with each other that trust is an issue, or trust is a thing, like you said, Monty. Why do we have to trust? Do lions and tigers trust another tiger? They don't live in community that way. They don't have to. They're not in covenant. It's not relevant in them.
Yeah.
But with us, it is. So my employer, I enter into a contract at work, an employer. So I have to trust that they're going to honor that. It's a trust thing, not a faith thing. See, that's where that tangible trust.
Okay. Yeah.
See anything?
Yeah.
It's not a faith, it's a trust thing.
But then we break. Talking in my marriage is like we break that trust sometimes. And then we.
Well, don't you think it depends on what kind of conditions the other person or the partnership has put on each other, whether it's broken or not? What does trust mean in our relationship? Like when a couple sits down to write their own vows, for instance. Mm-hmm. All right, honey, let's talk about, what does trust mean to you? What's trust mean to you? Are we on the same page with this?
Yeah. If somebody said to me, I'm going to meet you at 5 and I'm going to bring something. And I said, okay. And then they don't show. Did they break my trust? Maybe, but basically what they did was they disappointed me. They failed. They lied to me, or they hurt me. But I don't know. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't say they
again 2 times.
Then I have a trust issue.
Then it's a trust thing.
I would say to them, if you don't do that again, I give you one thing, but the next time I got to be able to trust that you're going to show up on time and you're going to do what you say you're going to do. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't become trust with me anyway, a big trust issue anyway, until it's gone a couple times. It becomes a hurt, and it's not okay, and it becomes something that you hope to have amends to, or if I do it. But I don't. It doesn't rise to that for me. Trust is, that overall belief that this person or thing, integrity, is going to come through. And I mean, a mistake and surfacey stuff, I don't know that ruins trust with me. Now, this is conditional, I guess, because there are big trust breakers, right? Those deal breaker lines of, infidelity in a relationship or a marriage. I mean, that one incidence of that isn't just, oh, that's okay. If you do it 2 or 3 more times, then I won't trust you.
Right.
That's a big one. That
But
would
interestingly, some marriages survive that. You know what I mean? But
well,
I guess that's
surviving it and having
individual.
it be a breach of trust are two different things, right? I mean, it's a breach of trust,
Oh, totally.
But whether that somebody can now forgive and move on, that's the whole point of we should talk about. I
That's
mean,
the
have any of
trust
you had your
element.
trust busted like that so badly? I mean, let's just talk about it. I mean, can you think of a time when you just lost trust and it was it was devastating?
The only thing that I can see is that I did that to other people, like my
Yeah.
children. And I'm still in that wreckage. But I don't think anyone ever cheated on me. If they did, I didn't know it.
So the only one I can really think of is I had a buddy who he was staying with us, and he stayed with us on several different occasions, and every time he stayed with us, he'd steal from us. And one time, and he was in and out of the program. He was in and out of using. We were trying to really help him, and it was like, okay. And then one day he stole from the boys, right?
What's
and
that
that was over the top for me.
Oh, your kids.
Yeah, he stole from the kids. He stole their PlayStation, I think it was. And we didn't have a lot as far as material things go, the kids really didn't have a lot of things, and so that was a real big deal to the kids, right? And that hurt them because they called him Uncle so and so because we were really close and stuff like that. And I remember sitting out on. He came by the house, and we're sitting. I wouldn't let him in the house. We're sitting out on the curb, and he's just whacked out, right? And I am so mad. I don't think I've ever been that angry in my life. I mean, I'm screaming at this guy. After what we've done and this and that and blah, blah, and I just ripped into him. Well, years later, I found out that he told me, he says, when you were saying all that stuff to me, he said, I didn't even hear it. I was so shut down. All I heard was, like the Charlie Brown. Yeah, wah, wah, wah thing. But what I discovered was that what had happened there was really, yes, did he break our trust? Yes, did he violate, some sovereignty in our home? Yes, and all that. But really, it fell on me. I was extremely emotionally dependent on his friendship to be okay with myself. And that's why I got so angry. It wasn't because he had stolen from us, because he had done that before. And it wasn't even because he took from my kids. It did something in me that violated my rights. You know what I mean? And when I realized that, and I had a counselor tell me, you are powerless over other people's choices. Totally powerless over their choices. Their choices are their choice. You can influence, you can encourage, you can discourage, whatever. But bottom line, their choices are their choices, and it's not on you. And once I realized that, it set me free to where when people did stuff that would normally have just toasted my cookies, it rolled off my back. It was like, oh, I get it. I understand. You know what I mean? So it came back to, I had to work on myself in the midst of this thing because I couldn't do anything about this guy.
See, that's example of step 10, 11 right there.
Yes, it
beautifully,
is.
Of because people can get bitter and blame him and be angry and then stop. But you went deeper. And why did this happen? Why did I let this happen? What can I learn from this? Blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. That's 10, 11. That's how we live. And it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And
But
yeah,
man,
I
it
love
was
that.
hard.
Yeah.
It was rough. I mean, it made me sick. I was so upset. People have strokes because they get that upset. Healthy people. Cortisol just goes right
Yeah.
through your body, and
I had a friend, well, a very close friend, best friend growing up and in time, and he was an alcoholic as well, engaged and not engaged. And when I think back now, and I know this, I
Yeah.
could never trust him. He would steal from you behind your back and lie right to your face that he
right.
did it. Take some little something, lie to your face, say something about you, use you in a way, manipulate
Yeah.
always. And it was an absolute trust issue. Yeah. Couldn't steal your girlfriend right out from under you. Good friend. You went to the bathroom, hitting on your girlfriend. This was his character. He was that way. And that's trust. You can't trust to
Yeah.
be around it. Now that I didn't have to get over that. I had to learn, well, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And I keep coming back for more. Whose problem is that? But when it's somebody that's like family almost,
Yes.
it becomes harder
That
to just,
yeah.
you
Yep.
swipe them away. And this was like that. But there was a point where I had to say, I could love you and I can forgive the event, but I'm not letting it happen again.
Yeah.
You've proven no evidence to me at all that you're trustworthy. And it would have taken a while he could have said all he wanted to say about you can trust me and I'm sorry. And that would have been okay and good, but I wouldn't have trusted him for some length of time.
Yeah. Well, it's
So
interesting.
I think it's same in relationships, in a marriage or a boyfriend girlfriend or relationship. When there's a cheating, there can be true contrite, repentance and hurt, and really they are regret and vow in every way never to do it again. And it could be in their heart that they won't.
Yeah.
They really are changed, and it's still. I don't know that I could let it go right away.
Yeah. So back to this guy that I was telling you about. Years
Yeah.
later, so we actually, the house we live in now, the windows in the back part of the house, right across from the studio, we put these really heavy planks. We screwed them into the framework of the window so you couldn't get your body in the window and out of the window, right?
To keep him out?
To keep him out.
Wow.
Yeah, we boarded it up. That's how concerned we were. And a few years after all the incidents has happened, he's going to meetings, he's going to church, he's doing well, right? And he came over one day and he goes, "Are those windows boarded up because of me?" And I went, "Yeah, they are." And he goes, "Wow, that stings."
Well, it's true.
I said, "What can I say?" I said, "There's two things going on here. First of all, I can't get them off of there without destroying the windows. And the other one is I don't know that I want to take them down yet, man."
Wow. Yeah.
And he goes, "Yeah, that hurts." And I said, "Well, I understand that. I'm you. I've done things too, but that's just kind of part of the circumstances of." That's the evolution of our behaviors, right? It just kind of grows in. And then, then when we did the house, we did the remodel of the house, and that all went away. But I've had thoughts. He's getting ready to get out of prison. He's in prison back in Minnesota or something like that. And my brain. It's been years since he's violated anything with us. And my brain still goes to, would I let him stay in our home? No.
No, I don't.
Because, and here's why. Not so much because of my issue with him, but I have a wife. And I'm responsible to her first.
right? And we have made a pact with each other. Other than somebody coming through and visiting and staying in the guest room, or that's a different thing. But as far as living with us, nobody's living with us anymore. We're just not. And this may sound selfish, but it's our turn. You know what I mean? And more importantly, it's my wife's turn. It's her turn to have her home and not have to worry about anything inside the house.
And be safe
And be
secure
safe in her home.
in her own space.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
yeah.
So let's look at, or unless you have more comment on that,
No.
Alicia.
Oh, yeah.
Let's look at trust the process, because it's interesting. I want to show you the two different kind of lines of thinking depending upon where you're coming from. So this one says 10 reasons why it's important to trust the process. Okay, and here it says you're calmer, you're more confident, you're less likely to hurt yourself, you become patient, you become resilient, you become open to change. It will lead you to your purpose. It helps you practice gratitude. You grow through everything, and you realize that timing is everything. That's 10 reasons to trust the process just in
Wow.
in normal. Now listen to this. If you put it in a Christian context, now careful guys, this is not a church, no particular church,
Right.
a Christian context. Trusting the process means surrendering control and faith in God's plan for your life. So it says surrendering control, letting go of the desire to manipulate outcomes, having faith in God's plan, embracing uncertainty, and patience and resilience. That's what trusting the process is in a Christian context. Surrendering control, having faith in God's plan, embracing uncertainty, patience, and resilience. They're not the same, those two definitions, are they?
No. Wow. The one that I'm like, ugh, embracing uncertainty. Embracing it, not just accepting it, but embracing it. I mean, that's like pulling it close to your chest, right? I'm okay with it being uncertain. Ooh, gee.
And that doesn't come automatically, right? Obviously, it's a practice and it's an ongoing thing of learning how to even do that. And
But the calm, like you mentioned, Tom, you're calm. You're more calm, right?
Right.
I mean, obviously, if a situation, normally would just have you tied up in knots, and it's not doing that anymore, what an incredible gift that is. And people will say, how can you not be upset about that? And it's just like,
Right. Well, here, Monty, I'm going to read deeper into embracing uncertainty.
Yeah.
'Cause it certainly would be something that everybody has an issue with, right?
yeah,
We want to control. It says embracing uncertainty requires stepping into the unknown with courage and trust. It's about embracing the twists and turns of life's journey, knowing that God is always by our side. Instead of resisting uncertainty, we can choose to see it as an opportunity for growth and transformation. Embracing uncertainty allows us to cultivate resilience and adaptability, knowing that every experience is a lesson in disguise. So it's, the retreat's not full 3 weeks before. It's uncertain. I'm not sure we're going to be able to pay the bill. I'm not sure that we're going to get enough registrations. So if I say, but we know God's plan and we know that we should be moving forward with this, I'm going to embrace this uncertainty and we're going to do everything we can, but we're going to keep going. Or do we cancel it and say, well, I just don't know, and it's uncertain, and I don't trust, if it's up to me, and what it looks like, what they say, what it looks like on paper, it doesn't look good on paper,
yeah,
is letting it, deciding to take an action and letting the uncertainty control it. It's hard, though. It's hard to do that because, sometimes what if it does go that way?
right.
right.
I have an example, and I've brought it up before, but it fits with this new yoga class that I'm teaching. Now I have 2 of them, but I can see I'm putting my trust in the numbers of the people that come
That
for
come.
my self-worth, and I am not good. And no, no,
Oh.
no, no, no. I do pray and like let me have peace even if I have 5 people. Let me just love on them, and I do feel that peace and calm when I do that more diligently. But it flip flops depending on somebody might say something or somebody else likes. I'm assuming they don't like me, and it it's it's hard.
So let
with
me
the
ask you a question,
uncertainty.
Alicia. So when you teach these classes, right, in yoga, the physical improvement of your body and the all that stuff, do you give them exercises that they can take home and do?
No.
Do you give them any suggestions on what they could do when they're not in your class as far as helping themselves with their yoga experience?
No.
Well, that is not the answer I was looking for.
Like, see, that
Because
I
they
was
won't
gonna
do it.
Well, here's
You
my
know, they
point.
used
Here's
They
my
used to say to me, I'm going to teach spinning. Well, I wasn't really teaching spinning. I was leading a spinning class.
Yeah.
So I was leading a group workout class. So it leads to your question, though, Monty. What she's doing is leading a yoga class, taking him through a process that is the exercise.
right.
So they could go home and do that if they wanted to. They know what to do. So
Okay.
in some ways,
So-
yes, they're learning.
Okay.
It.
Okay.
But she
So
doesn't say go home and then
All right.
do 5
yeah.
downward dogs and
okay,
come back next
fair
week.
enough. Fair enough. So my point is though, if you had a class of 100 people and they all showed up, right, and one of them got out of that class, just one got out of that class what you were teaching, and then but you had a class of 50 people that said they would show up and only 6 showed up and all 6 went home and did that stuff, which
I
is the
know.
better class?
The 100 people.
No.
That's my brain.
I know, but see,
it's
you need
terrible.
my point is, it's about the one. That one person that is going to take your expertise and is going to run with it, and so they can benefit from it. If you've reached one person, you have done your job.
I know,
But pastors fall into
I
this all the
go
time.
to
It's
the
a numbers
negative.
game, right? Our churches, it's not growing. Yeah, but the discipleship program is amazing. Have you thought about that? How many disciples you're bringing up? Oh,
well, and 2 in the definition or something somebody said, it's the process, the learning process that I'm going through this is that I'm voicing this out loud because I know I'm doing it.
right.
I am trying to pay attention. I'm learning their names. I am stepping into that uncomfortable space because I am, as you see, introverted. I don't love to be in the people thing. I like to teach, be on stage, and then I'm out. And yoga is very different. And I need to be engaged and be present. And I'm not in practice of doing that. So I'm learning and I'm so uncomfortable in that space. Part of me is like, oh, I hope my boss says I suck and they'll give this class to someone else because I don't want it. But I want to fight through that because I'm like, I'm pretty likable. Sometimes I could do
Yeah,
this.
you are.
And it's a constant craziness in my head of
Well, the
like, I
evidence
hate
is-
this. I love
yeah.
this.
Look back and go, in general, am I successful at all my other classes? Does everybody else like me? And am I good? Is the fruit? Is it bearing fruit? And I would say, listening to you, well, yeah. So why wouldn't you think this new class would?
That's the question.
Because you're
Well, because
crazy.
it's
That's the
not.
question.
Right.
Why
Yeah.
wouldn't you?
Well, flat out, I've taken other people's classes and I can see that they are more likable, whatever that means. They're
Oh, you're
more
comparing-
interactive with them. They're touchy-feely, and I am not. And I know that is a thing with instructors. Tom, people that talk more and they're friendly, you want to go to their classes. I don't have that.
Yeah, but how do you know? There may be people going, I don't really like the touchy-feely kind of person. I like the way Alicia does
Yeah,
it.
but most people do. They really do. And I'm just not. And so I'm trying to grow into that.
But then you're with the
be
numbers
myself.
game again. You just said most people. Who cares about the most? What about the
Well,
one that
because
you're being
numbers
effective?
matter at the gym. They're going to cut the class or give it to someone else
I get that.
because
yeah.
I suck.
Here,
Whatever.
listen.
I'm just showing you. That's a trust. I'm putting trust in the numbers. And
Yeah.
it's not. It's not going to work for me.
Look at this one, 13 signs that you have a trust issues, all right? Now let's
no.
look at this when you have it, right? This is 13 signs of trust issues, okay? You focus on the negative. There you go, Alicia. You feel like you have to do everything. Perfectionism. You're suspicious of friends and family. You avoid intimacy. You hold grudges. You pick fights. You keep to yourself. You avoid commitment. You spy on people or check their phones. You're a loner. You find yourself in relationships with untrustworthy people. You smother people you care about. You have a fear of abandonment.
I have like 10 of those. Truly. With
So
this
you have
class.
trust issues. Well, that's trust issues for some reason, but that question goes back. Why?
I think it's
What if you
Aban-
failed at?
Something
abandonment issues from the past.
From the past,
yeah.
Trusting.
Well,
It's totally abandonment stuff. So I'm teaching with them out there thinking, well, they're going to hate me and I'm going to get this class taken away anyways. So I'm teaching from that space, which is not good because that's fear of intimacy, fear of really getting to know them because they're going to leave anyways. But knowing that and changing it are two different things.
So I heard a quote yesterday. I'm going to probably get this wrong. I'm going to do my best, but it went something like this. You'll never become the person that you're supposed to be until you stop believing that you were the person that you thought you should be in the past.
Say it again.
You'll never become the person you're supposed to be until you stop believing in that you are the person you thought you should be in the past. In other words, that person in the past that I thought I was, I'm not good enough. I'm, this, and this. Until I stop believing that, I'm not going to become the person I'm supposed to be, because I'm hanging out. I'm hanging out in the past.
I am.
Let me. I'm going to do my guitar analogy thing that I always do at retreats, where, I'm not as good as Jimmy Page. I'll never be him. Blah blah blah. And what's happening there is then I'm not being Tom.
You're not being Tom. Yeah.
I'm not doing it Tom way. So when you're worried about being as good as someone else or different, you can never be like that person because you're not that person. But
I
they
know.
can't be like you either.
Right.
And I'm with Monty. Go with your hardcore. There's people coming in. Alicia, when I taught, I was not touchy-feely. I did talk to them a bit, but not the same way. And they would flock to me because my class was hardcore. And those people came.
Yeah, that's true.
And they want somebody like that, believe it or not. So trust the process. And
I am trying to.
look at the fruit of the past. The evidence says you're really good at this. And you have your niche. And go with it. Press through. Embrace uncertainty.
Yeah. Well, and yoga might not be my niche.
It does sound, if you meet Alicia, she doesn't seem like a yoga girl.
Is not my niche. Boot camp, hit training,
Not a
kicking your
yoga girl.
butt
Right.
is my
Watch her
niche.
videos on wherever she posts them,
Instagram.
and none of them are doing a calm breeze yogi with the incense burning. None of them.
Yeah, no. But I'm trying to learn
Yogi
and
Bear.
broaden my horizons.
Good one today. Guys, it's important though, but it is important for people to know that broken trust does affect things. And if you're one of those 13 things in life, look how it paralyzes you in moving forward and in developing new relationships. And so I guess it's not my final words, but I'm leading down this mic drop-ish.
Okay.
I
Do your
guess if
final
you got
words.
anything
final
from
thoughts.
here, it would be that if consumed with trust issues and lack of faith. I'm gonna take it not of faith, but trust issues, truly trust issues. It's something to absolutely look at. I would not embrace the mistrust. I would embrace the idea that you have to face the mistrust issues. Don't embrace the mistrust and adjust your whole life in not trusting anyone and protect yourself, right? I'm just not going to trust anybody, and that's how I'm going to do it from now on. Well, that and a nickel will tell us how that works down the road. And if you're an alcoholic or an addict, we'll see at the local gin mill, because that's where those kind of things lead. But when you face it, and listen, I remember Dale Marsh, he always says this, forgiving people and moving past something does not in any way make what they did right. So sometimes people think, I think very often that trust is broken in this, that the other person must pay and pay always. And somehow they're let off the hook if you move on. And we've got to move past that thinking. Forgiveness it helps our heart. It does not make it okay what was done to us.
Right.
And it does not mean that we have to be open to that anymore.
No. Forgiveness just simply means you don't hold it over them like a debt.
Right.
But you're right. You're right.
And in our process, guys, if you're in addiction and if you're seeking a way in a process, the 12-step process as outlined by the founders gives a really great process to begin working through not just trust issues, but all other issues in life, and leading to a level of freedom, peace, and happiness that you have never imagined.
Amen. Alicia, closing thoughts from you.
I would say contemplate and really honestly look at yourself and see where you are putting your trust, even if it's only sometimes, like I said, I'm putting my trust in numbers, I'm putting trust in what people think of me, and it's not a good space to be. So shifting your trust to your higher power, I need to trust God that this is an experience that I can learn from, and there are things that I can improve upon. And once I shift and put my trust in that, or my body, or my muscle mass, it's a disaster. Disaster pants.
All right. Hey, listen, listeners, we got a great lineup for you in November. It's all about gratitude and thankfulness and all that kind of stuff. So we've got 4 shows lined up. I'm just going to read them off to you. On November 4th, it's going to be Humble and Thankful, a 12-step journey. On the 11th, Generosity in Action, Recovery and Renewal. On the 18th, Finding a Higher Power, God in Gratitude. And on the 25th, Passing It On, Living Generously in Recovery. It's all about gratitude in the month of November. I want to thank Renee for suggesting that from Came to Believe. Please look forward to that. I think you'll get a lot out of it. It is very hard to be resentful when you have a heart of gratitude. It just really, really, really is. Our closing song is by Forrest Frank, and it's entitled Your Way's Better. And then I'll come back with my closing thoughts. Here's Forrest.
When I'm overwhelmed within from the weight of all my sin, I need a friend to call my own. I need a house to call my home. When I'm broken down inside and there's nowhere else to hide, I need a place where I feel known. Can someone help me? Then I hear you reply, bringing teardrops to my eyes, saying I'm not alone. Oh Lord, I need you now more than ever. Would you put my heart back together? I searched the world till my head hurt just to find out your ways better. Oh, oh, your ways better. Oh, oh, your ways better. Oh Lord, your ways better. Jesus, your ways better. Lord, I am so thankful for the ways that you bless me. Everything you say make jet ski. You love every part of me, even when I was messy. Now I see the art in your beauty, so I can finally sing out. Jehovah Jireh, provider. Your way always gets me higher. Even on my darkest days, you're a lighter, my Messiah. Oh Lord, I need you now more than ever. Would you put my heart back together? I searched the world to my header just to find out your ways better. Oh, oh, your ways better. Oh, oh, your ways better. Oh, Lord, your ways better. Jesus, Lord, I need you now more than ever. Would you put my heart back together? I searched the world to my header just to find out your ways better. Oh, oh, your ways better. Oh, oh, your ways better. Oh, Lord, your ways better. Jesus, your ways better. Oh, oh, your ways better. Oh, oh, your ways better. Oh, oh, your ways better. Jesus, your ways better. It's better, better, better. It's better, better, better. It's better than the rest.
Well, our topic has been trust. And though having friends and family that we feel we can trust, the Bible never tells us to put our trust in one another. Simply, trusting in God is much superior than trusting in man. Why? Well, because God's wisdom, power, and love are perfect and unchanging, while human understanding is limited and often flawed. People can fail, disappoint, or act out of self-interest, but God's promises never fail. His guidance comes from an eternal perspective that sees the beginning and the end, allowing Him to lead us in ways that ultimately bring growth, peace, and, of course, purpose. When we trust in Him, we anchor ourselves to truth that does not shift with circumstances or opinions. Trusting in man, on the other hand, leaves us vulnerable to the weaknesses and inconsistencies of human nature. Even the best intentions can fall short, and no person can fully know what lies ahead. But God's faithfulness stands as a constant refuge in a changing world. He works all things for good to those who trust Him, providing strength when we are weak and clarity when we are uncertain. In putting our confidence in God rather than people, we find a peace that is not dependent on others' reliability, but rooted in the unshakable foundation of His divine goodness. So, where will you put your trust today? It's something to think about. Came to Believe Recovery strives to create and promote opportunities for life-changing spiritual experiences for individuals and families suffering from all forms of addiction. For more information, help, and support, visit cametobelieverecovery.org. I'd like to thank you for allowing me to be your host on this episode of the Came to Believe Recovery podcast. And I would encourage you to like, bookmark, and subscribe to this show. When you do, you will join the Take 12 Recovery Radio family and will be notified of all of our recovery-focused shows throughout the week. Until our next broadcast, when we provide the essential spiritual tools needed to thrive by sharing our experience, our strength, and our hope through our stories of how we came to believe.
This has been a production of Take 12 Recovery Radio. Kitty, kitty, kitty. Meow.
Woof, woof.
This has been a Chicken and a Pig production.